Postoje vina, a onda postoje šampanjci. Ta čuvena kapljica predstavlja sam vrh umjetnosti proizvodnje vina. Šampanjska kuća Drappier, koju u Hrvatskoj zastupa firma Atrox, večeras će u restoranu Mano predstaviti svoje šampanjce u 6 sljedova. No prije toga nalazim se sa mladom i šarmantnom Charline Drappier, 8. generacijom te čuvene šampanjske kuće. Charline, welcome to Croatia. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Daniel.
So, your family goes back 200 years ago, and you are now 8th generation growing grapes and making the most exciting wine in the world, champagne. How great is that?
I'm very lucky, yes. Thank you for sharing our enthusiasm. Yes, we've been making champagne. I'm the 8th generation, so since 1808 we've been farming grapes, making champagne, and now we're 3 generations, including my grandfather and my parents, my brother working together. So we're very lucky to have to drink this every day.
Yeah, too bad. What do you like best working in your family and living in Urbil?
Yeah, I think I studied things that were very broad and that would bring cultural background for me to understand the world, understand the geology, the geography. So that was very important for me to get this before and kind of understand various influences like the US, like New York, like the world, and then bring it back in the small village where I get to work with my brothers who are deeply rooted in their vineyards. And then it composes a family that's very different. Each of us is very different, but we get our strength from our differences. And I'm more the one who travels and brings like, oh, this is how they do it here, this is how they do, this is what the customer says about the wine. And with my brother, we just talk about that for hours with my parents and still with my grandfather. And I think this is how we can make it as a family livable.
You said that champagne is a model of a global brand. How difficult is to achieve that?
That's a very good question, especially coming from a small family-owned brand in a lesser-known part of Champagne, because I didn't mention that we are from the Aube, which is the southern part of Champagne. So for my grandparents, my parents, it was a little bit of a struggle to make it known. I think they made a point at starting with the quality and with the fact that we have our own vineyards. And then little by little, they started building an identity that is very peculiar. Pinot Noir, dry champagne, coming from our vineyards mostly. And I think slowly and slowly, all over the world, because now we distribute in 100 countries, we have some people finding our identity interesting. So, and we're very lucky because champagne always rings a bell in people's mind and they're interested in champagne, but I think what we tried to do was to reconcile the global brand champagne and the local identity of Drappier.
And when it comes to grapes, you are focused on Pinot Noir. Basically about 70% of the Aube region is Pinot Noir, right? What is so special about Pinot Noir?
Oh, it's the best variety.
Of course it is.
No, it's the historical variety of the Aube, and it's very special because it's the variety that gives a lot of fruit, of body, of shoulder to champagne, so it brings a nice vinosity, but it can also be very refined, very elegant, and it develops over time.
A bottle of champagne often includes a mix of several vintages, several vineyards, and also grape varieties. How important is the art of blending in champagne?
If you would ask me, the second most important step in champagne would be the blending, because it is how you compose almost like a piece of art with different varieties, different patches of land, different years, and different ways of vinification. And what we would do is that we would meet every day in the morning, my brother, my father, especially them, and me when I'm invited, and we taste everything. The idea is to compose with different instruments, and it's very important in the identity of your champagne.
One last question.
Yeah?
What is the right time to drink champagne?
That's also a hard one. I could say all the time. Of course, all the time.
That's the answer that I was looking for.
Yeah, of course, all the time.
Cheers.
Santé.
Santé.
Santé, santé. Cheers.
Nakon veoma ugodnog razgovora sa Charline, zaputio sam se u restoran Mano na spektakularnu šampanjsku večeru u 6 sljedova. Mladi i talentirani šef Matija Bogdan i somelije Domagoj Zorbas zajedno sa svojim timom napravili su večer za pamćenje.
Pa šampanjac za mene predstavlja prvenstveno užitak u tim malim, finim, sitnim mjehurićima. Može se piti aperitivno, ali više mi predstavlja i užitak u sparivanju sa nekakvom dobrom hranom. Zato smo se odlučili za ovakvu večeru degustacijsku od 6 sljedova.
Najčešće se na večerama vino prilagođava hrani. Ovo je specifična večera gdje smo morali hranu prilagođavati šampanjcima. Pa smo krenuli smo jednostavno sa totalno obrnutim smjerom. Krenuli smo probati šampanjce, vidjeti koje imamo friške šampanjce, pa idemo do malo starijih, odležanih šampanjca i tako dalje, pa smo prema tome radili gradaciju menija od jednostavnijih okusa, puno friških okusa, prema sve težima, prema gljivama, prema mesu divljači koje je super išlo sa nekim vintage šampanjcima i tako dalje. Tako da smo zapravo cijeli fokus stavili samo isključivo na šampanjce i cijelu priču i hranu gradili oko njihovih okusa.
A priču su itekako lijepo izgradili i dokazali da šampanjcima nije samo mjesto za aperitive, već i za cjelokupnu večeru. I tako smo uz zadnju čašu 10 godina starog šampanjca večer priveli kraju. A Charline Drappier i njezina obitelj podsjetila nas je na suštinu životnih vrijednosti, u kojima nas različitost čini snažnijima.